I start projects with such good intentions, but now I find I have photos and notes aplenty for events like Week in the Life, but nothing in my albums to show for it. I'd love to get these pages on paper. Glittergal, can you help?
For the pocketed section of my pages, I'm using these page protectors, which are October Afternoon Daily Flash, with the 3x3 squares. So I have my photos printed and cut to 3x3. I'm just going to toy with this as a default first, and then do some rearranging. Okay. I need to get one more onto this side of the page protector to have it be half and half. I think I'm going to take this one out and move that one there. Yeah, because these are in chronological order, basically, and that, I don't know why that one had been in the wrong order. This one could work for any part of the day because the balloons were there all day, so I think I'm alright. Oh, I want these two the other way around because that's pajamas and here he's already dressed, so put it that way around. And in fact, this needs to be all the way up here. Okay, well they were almost in chronological order, but clearly I made some mistakes there. Okay, that is in order. Just double checking. Yeah. Okay, so these will be the other half. Now, I have my Week in the Life paper pad, but I am going to need more paper than just this because this paper pad has 2 3x4 cards per day, one with the day and then one that you could use anywhere. And then the rest, once you get past that, it's these journaling cards, which I think I'm going to use elsewhere. So I am going to keep the 2 cards and cut them down to 3x3 so that they fit in these pockets, but I need to figure out what papers are going to go in the rest so that I can make it not be completely empty. I have to admit it took me a while to figure out which papers I wanted to use to put in the empty spaces, and it was just because I was kind of overwhelmed for choice and I had to get my head straight. But in the end I decided I would take them all from one manufacturer, but not all the same collection. So these are all from Basic Grey, but they're from a variety of collections. And I have cut 3x3 squares, and I've also cut white cardstock 3x3 squares because I've made the decision that I think I'm going to do the facing 12x12 on plain white cardstock. And that was where I was really getting stuck, was that I didn't have any paper where I could use one as a full 12x12 and one cut up into squares and have enough to make it all work. So I needed to mix the papers, but I want to make sure that these feel like they go with the pages that I've just done, even though they're going to be very different. But I have put all of my supplies in here, and I'm hoping that I can pull it all together to make it look like it does go together. Okay, so I think I will start by having some things that repeat. So I thought I would bring in my circle punches again since I used those last time. And this time I will use them on the white cardstock, and I'm going to throw in a bigger circle rather than just the small one. So if I have a few of these, let's say, I think I need the small one there. Maybe that's a good balance. There are 2 small circles and 2 big circles. I don't necessarily want them all in a diagonal line like that, but I'll just start by allocating it and see how I go. I'm going to start up here on that Monday block. Let's see, I did ink edges on the other pages, so I will go ahead and ink these so that they feel cohesive. And I wanted to bring in the matching washi tape. Matching as in I used it on the big photo page. And then what other elements can I repeat on each one? I may need to add to my little basket of things here because I don't have a lot that I'm going to be able to repeat each time. I have some of these where I can do one for each day. Actually, that would be a better one for a different day of the week. Let's just start with a nice little star. Okay, so that'll give me a start and hope to find some direction here with where it's all going to go. In pockets all the time, I find that if I'm going to do something like this where I need lots of pockets to look consistent, so I'm going to have front and back times 7 days, so that qualifies to me as a lot of pockets that I want to look consistent. I want them to look like they go together. It takes me a little while to figure out one set, but then once I have that one set done, I'm ready to just work through the rest, and each one, just a bit like the assembly line that's not a complete assembly line from the big photo pages is going to be a similar workflow here. So I'm going to turn this page over and show you how I do this this stage in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and add my photos. This one needs to come first. And I'm just looking because I have some extras of which ones I want to take out. I'll take this one out. Just got a bit too much of the work day, I feel like. I'll take that one out. Move this. Move it all around. Okay, happier with that, I think. So they're going to go straight into the pockets because I didn't add anything else to the photos. The photos just stay complete as they are. I need to get these in from the other side of the page protector. And then each pocket without a photo is going to get a paper block, and that takes a little bit more effort to get just right. So let me get these into their little homes. Okay. And then that leaves me the 8 to fill with paper. Now I have my stack of the basic gray pattern papers. I'm going to keep these in the same order. And I have my card from the Week in the Life little paper pad, but I need to find what I did with it. Where'd it go? Okay, disaster averted, I found it. It was just underneath something else. And I ended up inking all these boxes. So do that very quickly. And then each one of these gets topped with a shape from white cardstock. That's going to help it coordinate with the white cardstock that's going to be on the other 12 by 12 that I still have left to make. And I started with the circles, so I did 2 big circles and 2 smaller circles, and then realized that I wanted to continue with the white cardstock, but I didn't want just circles on every block. I wanted a little bit more variety, so decided I would go with another shape that I could punch out, and I went with my trusty label punch, which is starting to get a little old and worn out, and I worry what I'm going to do when I don't have that punch, because I use it so often it goes with everything. Okay, now I don't know what I'm going to do about adding white cardstock to the white there. I may decide against that. I'm not so sure. But I need 2 big circles. And 2 smaller circles. And almost all of the punches, I'm working with them going off the edge somewhere. So it's okay for them to be partial circles. And then for the rest, labels. Now I want a balance of these cards so that some are a little bit busier and some are a little plainer, and all of them have a little bit of handwriting. I ended up feeling that I didn't have enough embellishments in my little set, so I went to get some other items that I thought might help bulk it out a little bit and give me some more options for my kit while still trying to have the same feel. I went for some stickers that were from the same collection as some of the papers, that Monomy collection, and I had this 12 by 12 sticker sheet from Daily Grind, which is the same collection from Simple Stories as the chipboard pieces that I used on the big photo pages. So that was a good and easy choice to have something that would work together. Then this is also Simple Stories from 24/7, and I mostly was interested in these little word and phrase stickers, and maybe these little tabs, because I thought they weren't too busy. Each one is quite plain and simple, and the colors were a rough match. And then I've also got these craft hearts. I think that's everything extra that I pulled out to add, and everything else was from the kit. So I have these phrases, and I'm aiming to use 3 or 4 on each page of pockets. So I've picked 3 for this one, and I want to continue that idea of using a little bit of the same washi pattern for the day as I used on the big photo. So I used this blue one on this particular example. I think I want to bring that color up to the top card here with all that white. So do a little bit of it there, and just a tiny bit maybe down here in the bottom corner. I don't want a lot of it because I don't have a roll. If I had used rolls of washi tape, I would probably add it to more squares and maybe even add it to every square, but I used that little booklet, which means I don't have as much of each pattern, but that's okay. It's just a different way to keep thinking creatively. So I've also got the stamps and little bits of chipboard and some labels. I have, where did my little label stickers with the gold? So there's one of these for every day, but I've cut them in half so that I can do one on each side of the pockets. I think I'll go with putting that bit of gold there in the middle. And I've tried to keep the layering more simple than what I tend to do on 12 by 12 pages. I have not brought in any pop dots. I tried it, I didn't like it, so everything is going flat. There's a little bit of chipboard, but I haven't done flare badges or big brads or anything else that has a lot of bulk. It's almost all very flat. And I'm looking for things like, can I find a word sticker that will go with most of the, with most of the boxes? Things that are really simple like that to help me just get started with each little area of collage so that they're pretty simple. And then a couple of them I'll choose to just embellish a little bit more. And so a label there. Maybe a word sticker up here, along with this little phrase. So those can overlap and all go right to the edge there. Be a bit of yellow happiness there. And since I'm using the card that says Monday on the other side, I wanted to use other Monday elements on this side. So I have a Monday sticker there, and one here. And where else might I want? Nice little heart. I'm trying to make each box coordinate with the photo that's nearby. So when I add the writing, this box is going to get the journaling about this photo, and so on. So this one would be about that photo, this one would be about that photo. Does that make sense? This one too? Yeah, okay. So things like I'm looking where would I put a heart, and I'm going to put a heart next to the page that shows a relationship rather than just the balloons are nice and happy, but they don't get a heart for me. Yeah. Alright, do I want any more hearts? Might put one here too, just a small one. And then I think, let's see, no, I need something else on this one. Just something small. This might work. Got a little right now. Brings in the red that's in his trousers there. Okay, so this is a good point for me to then add the handwriting to each one so that I don't end up embellishing so much that I run out of room. And some of these patterns are easier to write on than the others. So the ones that are harder to write on, for example, this pattern is not even worth for me to try to write on the background. So any writing is going to go on the white or the labels. But things like this box, I can write plenty on. This one's really easy to write on, and so forth. It does help me if I write in order because I can remember how the day goes that way. But it's not the end of the world if I don't do it in that order. After I have the writing in place, then I went to my stamp set to take a few of the little phrases and things to frame the writing. So, for example, having this one start the handwriting just makes it a little less like it's just kind of floating in the middle. Gives it a bit more of a frame. I did that with just a few little phrases that would fit in different spots. And pieces like that. Just wherever they fit in both a physical match, like they fit in the space, and they still match the sentiment of whatever is on that particular block. That's the things that I'm looking for. Got a bit of a gap there, so maybe a stamp, but maybe something else. And I have this other little phrase that's very similar to this one, but different words. The other big text piece that I haven't used is too big to go in that spot, so I will find something else for that one. And I have to admit, it's at this point where I'm always thinking, oh, but I need enamel dots or something like that, and I'm not using enamel dots on this project. It's kind of shocking. Okay, add a little star there. This needs a little something too, so let's see what I do have. I'm not using enamel dots, but I do have those little stickers. So maybe this would be, oops, if I can straighten it out, this would be a good spot for that. And one little one down here would kind of make this into a little grouping so that then the empty space doesn't feel quite so awkward. This is just another word sticker, but it's the same set that I was using before, and just put the leftovers in my little basket of different pieces. Maybe because I don't have more text that I want to write on this little sticker, but it has lines and it's making me feel like it needs something, so I'll just add more hearts, and then I'll add the date up here, even though the date is on the big photo page. Sometimes just use the date as a design element rather than it just being required. Go. And then my last little bit was to repeat the gold mist. I do think, I need to go back and look where I could add just a little bit extra to a couple of them, because at the moment they're all feeling quite even, and I like the fact that the first one had a few cards that felt a little more dressy than the others. So just have a look at what I have here on the desk and see if there's something that would make just a couple of them feel a little more fancy. Like this would be a nice one to just dress up a little bit more. So here's a lovely little sticker that might work. instead of using, this one is a little tab with a circle. If I can take this circle up a bit, instead of using it as a tab, I'll just tuck it behind there. And that makes this one a little bit dressier, so I think this is the other one that I want to dress up a little bit more. Let's see what would coordinate. I have this little flower. That could be a good little match. Yeah, so then there's markedly more on this one and this one than all the rest, and it just feels a little bit a little bit like it's not all the same. Everything isn't the exact same level. I'm just looking to see in case there was maybe a little chipboard piece, since this one has chipboard. I could use this little arrow. That would work. There we go. Yeah. And now those two are dressier than the others, but they've all got something in common. They have the patterns are going to be consistent throughout all of the days. The white cardstock is going to be on each of the pattern cards in either the circle or the label. So there's that much that they have in common. But then each one is its own little embellishment grouping, and I'm not trying to replicate every single one on each page. So I hope that all makes sense. Now I just need to do it 6 more times.
Thanks for stopping by to watch part 2, and one more time there'll be part 3. Again, you don't have to wait till next Wednesday. It'll be a day or so until it's live here on this channel, and you can subscribe to get notifications whenever a new video is added. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.